బాను నువ్వు నా బెడ్ మీదకి వెళ్తావా వస్తున్న కెమెరాలో గుడ్ ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ మేడం
Good afternoon, Saptarishi, Srinidhi, Hachu. How are you? Why were you absent?
గుడ్ ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ మ్యామ్ గుడ్ మ్యామ్
Why were you absent?
మ్యామ్ ఐ థాట్ లైక్ టుడే లైక్ we were starting a fresh topic that's why I missed this class.
Makes no sense. Another thing, if you are taking leave, text me, make to me. Okay, you have to inform me prior.
Sure ma'am.
Okay. Today we are starting with new topic, right? And as usual, so you have to tell me the concept, meaning of it, and we are going to relate it with the philosopher, right? And we'll try to explain it. So as I said before also, we'll be covering more than what UPSC is asking us, right? So we'll be covering more philosophers, more and more thinkers, right? So the idea is so that I can introduce you more philosophers and you can use other examinations, right? In sociology, in polity, in governance, right? Because they all are relevant, especially when it comes to socio-political philosophy and religion philosophy. So these basically are very, very important. Got it, bache? Srinidhi, Saptari, where are you? Rest of the students.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it?
Yes ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let's start with our first concept, right? So in this, I'll be explaining you, as I said, more deeply, right? And when it comes to humanism, secularism, and multiculturalism, right? So there are three phases that we have, right? And each PPT will be of like more than 20 pages, right? So this topic is going to take like lots and lots of days, right? But then again, I'll be introducing you many, many thinkers here, right? So make sure that keywords are written, thinkers' name are written, your perspective is clear, and you are not able to understand each and everything that they are saying, right? As I said before, also their ideology is very much different, right? And they said it like very long ago, right? So you might not find it relevant, and you might criticize it. So you will be given that space, right? We will criticize them, right? Otherwise, there will be no point of having this class too, right? So now, when we have first term, that is humanism. Who will tell me what it is? According to you, what this means, and then explain you what UPSC wants to know from this word and how we are going to use it and what thinkers are saying about it. What is humanism?
Well,
About it. What is humanism?
so I think that it is basically the philosophy that actually says it actually centers around the human values, dignity, potential.
Okay, next, quick.
I don't actually know exactly, ma'am, but I think it may be related to basic human rights, protecting basic human rights, and compassion between human beings. This is.
Okay,
Ma'am,
next.
it's
Hmm.
basically like putting humans at the first place, ma'am. Like uh, in this world, like we have a lot of creatures and many things. Putting humans first, their values, their relationship, and everything first is humanism.
Okay, next.
Yes, ma'am. Humanism is a social philosophy that analyzes its thoughts, keeping human beings in the center point, and
Hmm.
it considers that every human being is having equal worth, and that is the key point where from which any other actions or inactions or analysis or I mean from that point everything comes.
Okay, now let's understand what this slide is telling to us. Okay, so definition here given is an approach in study, philosophy, or practice that focuses on human values and concerns, right? So when we understand it with the language of UPSC, what UPSC is telling us that it is an approach in study, philosophy, or practice that focuses on human values and concerns. So it means that it is a way of thinking that put humans at the center, right? Humans are at the center, right? We are focusing on humans, right? Humanity, their approach, right? Their analysis, right? So it is basically caring about human dignity, right? It is caring about happiness, it is caring about freedom, right? So all these things which are basically focusing on humans, right? That what is good for humans, and it is not depending only on gods or only rituals or any blind traditions, right? It is basically focusing on what humans want, right? What can be good done to humans, right? This is what is called as humanism, right? So in simple words, in simple terms, in simple definitions, in simple explanation, it means that human life and human welfare matters the most, right? Human life and welfare, right? So these two things will be focusing on, right? So this is the first definition that we have given. Got it? Now, what exactly it focuses on, as I explained it to you, it is focusing on basically values, it is focusing on concerns, right? On dignity, on worth, right? Human reasons, on thinking power, freedom, responsibility, each and everything, right? Like kindness is there, justice is there, reality to humans is there, right? All of these approach which is related to humans, right? So this is what exactly we are understanding. Got it? Now, if I have to ask you education, how will you put it? How will you explain it? Education. Yes, Raju.
Ed- Education is basically the basic right of the humans. I mean, for India, there is a constitutional right in Article 21A, which says that
Mm,
basic right of education should be there up to the age of
mm.
6 to the age limit that is given. So basically, education, in case of education, everyone has the right to have accessible education and effective education regarding various aspects of the life. Uh,
Okay. Next, quick, quick.
I see education as a basic right for every human being. Every human being should be able to have some basic education. It should be available, made available to every human being on
Mm.
this
Next.
because
Let's continue, Srinidhi. Continue, please.
through education human beings gain the facility to think rationally and independently. So
Mm.
it is the basic right which differentiate this basic rational thinking is what differentiates us from all other creatures on this earth. So education should be a fundamental right. That's it.
Okay.
Ma'am, to
That.
me, education is all about learning and gaining knowledge, and it's a phase of growing, and it makes a person better and a human better. So I think it's a basic, and it should be a legal right. It should be basic human right. Education.
Manas.
Sorry ma'am, I just lost it. I mean what are the question please?
So I'm asking what education is when it comes to humanism. How humanist actually believes when it comes to the term education. How they see it.
They must be seeing education as a tool having some emancipatory value that treats individuals as equal and um, equal and with dignity. And I think uh, through education, it is not only having emancipatory value, but also it is a tool for assertion.
It is
I
a
don't know.
tool to.
Tool for individual assertion, man, for
Okay.
greater goals.
And also education can be used as a tool for empowering, like to bring out creativity and to make them think, learn, and grow.
Yes.
Ma'am, yes, yes.
Okay.
My first concern was that education makes them understand that
Hmm.
every person is having equality. I mean, equal by worth and dignity. So at first, education makes us understand this. Then education, then after that, education is then used as an instrument for empowerment, as he said, or as an assertive tool, whatever. But the first thing is that education teaches us to be tolerant to the to the to the other. I mean, if
Hmm.
myself is self, then it tells us to be tolerant towards the others in identity politics, if I may say. So
Okay. So
from
when
that,
we
yes,
got it. Okay. So when we talk about education and humanist, right? So what basically humanists think that education should help students think freely, right? And should basically they should learn science, they should learn ethics, they should learn about morality, how they should behave in society, right? So this is how humanists thinks about education, the basic thinking, like we all have, right? But when it comes to what they do not believe in, so it does not believe in blind memorization, right? They do not believe in, you know, fear-based learning also, right? So this is why they believe in this education, right? I hope that you understood what humanist concept is about education. Got it?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Now, the same way, there are like other concerns also that humanist comes with, values and concerns, all of these things. Understood? Got it? Shall we move to
Yes,
another
ma'am.
paragraph? Okay. The next paragraph says a system of thought that rejects religious beliefs and centers on humans and their values, capacities, and worth. Okay. Now, what it means? So basically, it is telling it to us that it is way of thinking that does not depend on, you know, God, on any religious belief, right? Or basically we can say any divine command, right? To explain life, you know, to explain morality, to explain about what is right and good, right? So their center, right, they basically instead believes on what they believe, that human beings basically themselves are important, right? Their values and capacities and worth, right? So they believe on themselves. Humanity is important part here, right? Not any religious beliefs, right? They don't have this center, right? They reject this religious belief, right? So it means what? That they are basically rejecting superstitions also, right? All those things which are not making logical, which are not, you know, reasonable. So they reject all of those things, right? So this is why basically humans have reasons, right? This is why they believe, humanist believes that the humans have reasons, they have intelligence, right? And you know, they have, you know, emotions also, moral sense also, and those are, you know, enough to guide life. So this is why they do not believe in secondary things, they do not need any support, right? They don't need any, you know, pole to stand, right? So they are basically seeing humans themselves as logical, as reasonable, and they think that they can take these decisions themselves only, right? Got it? Got these two paragraphs?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what did we understand here? That they are rejecting belief, right? So it means they do not always mean attacking religion, but what exactly are they saying, right? That moral rules should not come from religion, right? If we are taking religion, then it means somewhere we are dividing ourselves, right? So this is why humanist believes that religion is not something that we should adapt, right? But yes, they are not rejecting it, right? Got it, bache? What their
Yes,
perspective
ma'am.
is about religion, right? So they
Yes.
are saying that truth should be found using reasons. It should be found using science. It should be found using experience, right? Not through religion. Got it? So humans' life, suffering, you know, happiness and freedom also and dignity, they are main concern here, right? So this is why they believe that philosophy also should help humans, you know, decide love, spread love, right? Talk about these things, right? Talk about humanity, right? I hope you understood the concept of humanism.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So center here, what we have, the center is on humans. This is what they are saying. The center is only and only humans. Now, their values, capacities, and worth. Human capacities means what? This basically means that humans can do, they can think rationally, they can think logically, right? They can analyze themselves things, right, without any basically manipulation or anything, right? So this is why a person is valuable simply and simply because they are human. So this is what humanists believe, that they are human, and that's the only case. Everything ends there. They do not need any support, any external support. Got it? So this is what they believe about humans, right? They are at the
Yes,
center,
ma'am.
right? Then they talked about worth. Now, what is worth here? So when we talk about worth, what exactly they are trying to say to us, that every human being has inherent value. Every person is, valuable simply because they are human, right? No one is inferior, right? Like we can see differences here, right? Because of caste, because of religion, because of region, right? So humanists believes that we do not need any divisions like this. We are valuable, we are logical, we are reasonable, just because of these inherent values we have, and we hold these values from the starting, right? Just because we are humans, right? I hope you understood the concept.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, explain it to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
So
let's divide it. First, we'll do Saptarishi, and then Manas, and Srinidhi, and then Raju.
yes, ma'am. So may I start?
Let's start Saptarishi.
Yes, ma'am. So humanism is basically a philosophical idea that actually focuses centered around humans and the concerns regarding life and welfare of the humans. So basically, this is a system of thought that rejects, uh, actually rejects illogical, irrational elements, superstition. These things are very much rejected, and it actually, in this case, human, it is actually emphasizing on the belief in humans only. Like it actually emphasizes on science and reality. For example, Swami Vivekananda was one of the uh, leading talkers, uh, uh, one of the leading person who actually talked about humanism. He actually said that every person has immense potential inside of them, and ultimately they actually just have to utilize it and use it to actually reach to this actuality or the they actually already have to reach the full potential. So in a sense, he was actually promoting this ideology. As well as there is the idea of education. It actually promotes that education must actually emphasize on ethics, morality, values, and there should be no blind memorization. In this case, I would say about the writings of Rabindranath Tagore, who actually wrote in his Tota Kahini, or the story of parrots, where he actually emphasized on the fact that the blind memorization doesn't lead to real education. It just leads to a mechanical body that only says whatever it is actually remembering, like a parrot who actually just says whatever it actually memorized, but it is not the real knowledge. So, in a sense, in our uh, everyday life, the education should be utilitarian. I mean, everything should be used, and in a everything should have a practical use. Without practical use, the education doesn't hold any value. So humanism actually talks about this, that education should have ethics, morality that can be implemented in our daily life. So this was the basic concept of humanism, and the main concern of humanism was happiness, humans' happiness, peace, humanity, stability, these things. Yes,
Okay, just quick.
Ma'am, humanism is a system of thought that treats every individual equally as per their birth and their moral worth. That means every human being is having some inherent value, irrespective of the identities they acquire or are assigned. I mean, this the identity can be a gender identity, can be a class or community identity, or can be religious identity. That's how. That's where the rejection of religious belief comes. I mean, irrespective of the religious belief somebody has, she or he is to be respected and to be treated with uh, treated accordingly, simply because he is a human being, not because he's a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian or a Buddhist. Similarly, irrespective of gender identity, or irrespective of any other identities they aspire to be or they are given. by the society, by others. So, irrespective of all these identities, humans are to be treated as humans. Human value to be of superior to be of um, to be of supreme value, and their capabilities or their human capacities to be respected and to be nurtured. These are the thoughts that humanism nurtures.
Okay, good. Next.
Ma'am, humanism is a philosophy that mainly focuses on human dignity, human rationality, and compassion, ma'am. And in humanism, like it won't allow any kind of discrimination, be it religious discrimination, be it caste discrimination, be it gender discrimination, be it anything. And it also don't believe in supernatural things or any god or any book, and they don't even let any god or any book to define what is morality, what is capability, and how to think or how to behave. Like they believe, and this philosophy emphasizes that humans have the capacity to think logically, think rationally, and to decide what is moral, what is good, and what is bad. And humans have that capacity, and they also believe that all humans are equal and they need the basic dignity. Yeah, ma'am. This is what humanism talks about. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Humanism is an ideology that basically thought or its main focus is human values and concerns. And basically, for example, if we take education, humanists believe that education is to be available to everyone equally because it is a tool for rational thought and enlightenment for humans. So, because of this, they do not believe in fear-based education or learning based on memorizing. And humanists also believe that moral values or the right or wrong can decide morality can be decided based on human values and our own rational thinking. Morality as morality does not need legitimacy in religion. So because of this, they reject religious beliefs and they reject that religion should give legitimacy to morality. They do not believe that moral values should come from religion. They can come from human values and our own perception of right and wrong. And humanism also believes that every human being has some inherent worth. That every human being, regardless of caste, gender, or class, all these things, regardless of this, if they are a human being, they have some worth and they should be treated equally. That's it.
Okay. Now let's move to another part. So we have one thinker, Abraham Maslow. So an American psychologist born in April 1, 1908 and was raised in Brooklyn, New York and died in June 8, 1970. And he's father of humanistic psychology. Okay. So he's very, very important thinker, right? So you'll be reading him in sociology as well and polity as well, right? So when we talk about him, so we understood that he studied human mind, he studied behavior, he studied feelings, he studied motivations, right? And he was an American psychologist. This means what? That he lived and worked in the United States, right? So what did we understand by him? That he's father of humanistic psychology, right? And now let's move to another part of his. First of all, let's understand what his new idea and psychology are exactly. So Maslow basically said that psychology should not study only sick people, right? It should also study healthy things. It should also study the part that sometimes psychologists forgets the happy part. The part where actually human enjoys, right? And this is very true. When it comes to psychology, we often try to grasp and understand that part which is not a happy part, right? The negative side is mostly understood by psychologists. This is not something that he's criticizing, but he's saying that people should also understand these parts also. I hope this is understood. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
let's move his another theory, right? So he basically, this theory is humanistic theory of learning, right? Now, let's understand what exactly he's focusing on here. So Maslow's theory is based on the notion that experience is the primary phenomena in the study of human learning and behavior, right? So he placed emphasis on choice, on creativity, on values, right, and self-realization, all distinctively human qualities, and believed that meaningfulness and subjectivity were more important than objectivity. Okay, so what he's trying to say, so Maslow, he believed that to understand how humans actually learn and behave, we must first understand their personal experiences, right? And this thing, whatever what he's saying, we have understood in thinkers also. When we were doing Western philosophy, I told you, right, that if you are reading any ideology of any thinker, make sure that you are understanding what his background is, what his history is, right? From what background he came, how his childhood was, right? So this is why he also says that it is very important that you understand their personal experiences first, because their behavior and this analysis tells more about them, right? So this is why he says that we should first learn and understand that how exactly they are with their personal experiences, right? And we should not only focus on experiments and not only just statistic or data, but we should understand that how exactly person feels, how exactly that person thinks, and basically, that person is experiencing that life from inside, right? So all these things should be understood according to him. Got it? Now, now exactly what he's saying, that inner experience is more and more important, right? So what he's focusing on, he's focusing on inner experiences, on personal right? So understand all those things first and then move to the other step, right? Now, second thing, he placed emphasize on, basically, he placed emphasis on choice. Now, what exactly this line says? Emphasize on choice. What this line is explaining to us, that Maslow believed that humans have freedom to choose, right? And humans are not controlled only by instinct for duty, right? So his ideology is matching to one more thinker who said the same thing, that this is our choice. Each and every person have the capacity, have the freedom, and have the willingness, right? So we are basically humans. We are not robots, right? We have this willingness in us, right? We can choose whatever we want to, right? So this is why he basically mentions that he places emphasis on choice, right? We focus on what choices, that each and every human in this world, right, have choices, right? So he says that they can decide their roles, right? Humans can change their values. Humans can, change their life directions. So, a person basically born in poverty, right, choose to study. That person, choose to work hard, right? And he decided that he want to improve his life, right? So this shows what? This shows human choice, right? Now he changed his circumstances through this, right? So he emphasizes on what? He emphasizes on choices. Got it? Now he talks about another thing, that is creativity, another important part. Now what he talks about creativity, he believed that creativity is natural to humans, right? Now creativity, he's not talking about painting. No, he's not talking about art and craft. Creativity is analyzing the things, right? So creativity is basically understanding, right? Problem solving, new ideas are there, original ways of living is there, right? So this is what creativity is here, right? The person have knowledge, that person have to analyze things, right? That person is logical, that person is reasonable, right? So this is what we call as creativity, right? Now next, what he focuses on, he focuses on values, right? So if a person is there, right, and he cares about truth, he cares about justice, he cares about honesty, beauty, about goodness, and that person do not live only for money or pleasure, right? So this is what valuable is according to him, right? So human ask, what is the right thing to do? So this actually shows humans are moral beings, right? Got it? So they are focusing on right and good. They are focusing on what we should do and what we should not, right? So if all these things are basically analyzed and understood properly, right? So these things are called values. Now, next is self-realization. Okay. Now, self-realization, it is very important, right? Now, self-realization means that, it means that you are becoming and what you are capable of becoming, right? It is about like using your, talents fully and living a meaningful life, right? And, reaching your highest potential. So here, Maslow called this self-actualization. What did he call this? Self-actualization or realization. Got it? So this is what he focuses on. And another line, all distinctively human qualities. Now what this line explains us? This line explains us that animal act mainly by instinct, right? Machines act by what? Machines, how machines act? They act by programming, right? But how humans act? Instinctively, right? So this is the difference that we have between these two, right? So all distinctively humans qualities, right? This is the difference that we have, right? Humans choose, humans can create, humans have values, right? And humans search for meaning. So these qualities make humans what? These qualities make humans special and unique. Understood this line?
Yes, ma'am.
Got it? Okay. Now, next line, and believe that meaningfulness and subjectivity were more important than objectivity. Okay. What exactly he's trying to explain here? And this is another important idea that he presents to us, that objectivity means, external fact is there, right? Objectivity means measurements is there. Objectivity means numbers are there. Data is there, right? This is what objectivity is, and this is what he mentions about. Now, subjectivity means what? Subjectivity means personal meaning, right? It means feelings, it means inner experience, it means personal understanding, right? So what did he believe? He believes that to understand humans, subjective experience is much, much and more important than objectivity, right? So we should focus on what? We should focus on subjectivity, right? So if we like talk like him, then we must ask like, do you feel satisfied and meaningful inside, right? If I have to talk like him, then what exactly he's telling? That I should ask you, right? Instead of focusing objectivity, instead of focusing that how philosophy will help you in clearing UPSC, instead of focusing that, I should ask you this question: that Raju, Srinidhi, and other students, are you happy in this classroom? Inner values, right? Are you basically enjoying this classroom? Are you learning something, right? Is this something going to change you internally, right? Is this something that is going to benefit the society, right? So all these things should be analyzed. We should basically focus on subjectivity rather than only objective values. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if we are
Yes, ma'am.
talking about this, let's try to understand that why exactly did we criticize objectivity, right? So basically, behavioral psychology. Behavioral psychology, what behavioral psychology do? They focuses on behavior, right? That how exactly humans are doing, right? Why they are doing all these things, what's the reason behind it, right? So they study only what can be seen and measured, right? So to this, Maslow says that this ignores the human soul. It ignores the feelings, it ignores the meanings, right? So instead of basically ignoring all these things, we should actually focus on subjectivity because that's the core. Only through that we'll be able to understand. So this is why he gave importance to lived experience, he gave importance to personal meaning, and he gave importance to inner growth. Got it? Got it,
Yes,
bache?
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Ma'am, can we be
Yes, ma'am.
okay, you wrote this, okay, at the starting of the class, okay. So I hope this slide is understood to you. Is there anything that you want me to repeat, bache? Anything that you want me to
No, ma'am.
repeat? Any word from here? Any line that you want me to repeat? Okay. So what did we understand? What exactly he's trying to say? He is telling us that we should focus on subjective experience. We should focus on freedom. We should focus on creativity, right? We should basically focus on values, right? And self-realization, right? And he argues that human meanings and inner experiences are more important than objective measurement, right? Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
now I'm dividing the part. Okay, so starting, we'll start with Srinidhi. So Srinidhi will explain to us the first line, then till here behavior, and then Raju second, and then other Manas, and then Saptari. Come on, quick.
Yes, ma'am. Maslow's theory of humanistic learning is that he believed that to learn what a human is, how he's behaving and how he's learning, it is
Mhm.
majorly based in his experience and what he has experienced, and it depends on what he has experienced in his life. His values and his choices all depend on his experience. This
Hmm.
is what he's saying in this slide.
Next, quick.
Ma'am, he placed emphasis on choice, creativity, values, and self-realization. Like
Hmm.
these are the qualities he believed. Like every person will have, example, creativity uh, by natural instinct. Like by naturally they'll have creativity and values, uh, and like he believes that like every person have different choices, and it's not very objective, and one should considering these choices, and also uh, one should see the background, like the surroundings and the environment he grew up, like while seeing perspective, and he considers different values. Sorry, ma'am, I couldn't articulate it right now, but yeah. Next.
Got it. It's okay. Got it. Next.
Madam,
Radhika, that you saw yesterday's class recording because you have like missed lots of things in the last class. If you want to, then you can go through that. It is a like cyclic batch. We'll be covering this later, but then again, there was a discussion that I think that you should see.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, Manas Bache. Manas Bache. Yes.
yes, madam. Madam, by emphasizing the human choice,
Hmm.
by emphasizing human choices, uh, Maslow tries to provide very importance to human agency, individual agency, rather than external factors that decides the human behavior. Rather, he says that it is the human experience. I mean, the way humans experience their world from childhood to other stages of their life, accordingly they behave, accordingly they interact with the outside world, and that is how they express their creativity. They also uh, they build their world. They they create their worldview. They get challenged. When they get challenged with others, then they recreate their worldview, and this is how their belief, which is purely subjective to their experience only, is more important than the objective things assigned to their understanding.
Okay.
Then, in totality, he emphasizes human experience over objectivity. That means it says that every individual being has different ways and different types of understanding of the world as per their own ways and experiences.
Hmm.
Same size cannot fit all.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So, uh, Abraham Maslow was considered as the father of humanistic philosophy, who actually emphasized on our inner experiences as well in our personal life. So basically, as, based his notion on the fact that experience is the fundamental basis of how we can actually study human emotions. Uh, so in this case, he emphasized on the choices that according to him, humans have choice and they can change their values according to the situation because they are rational beings and they can think as well or choose their own path. He emphasized on creativity, like for him, creativity is basically like analyzing, understanding, or solving problems. These things are creativity, and according to him, it is natural or inherent in humans. We just have to utilize ourselves or find our potential through our values. Like in a values, it is being said that what we should do, should we not do. This is the value part, and then comes the self-realization or actualization. So basically, in this case, we are actually reaching to our full potential through understanding whatever hidden potential we had inside of us. So this was his aspect of how we should actually emphasize on our emotions to reach our full potential. So for him, animals actually acts instantly or according to their hunger or whatever. Then humans are there who actually acts in instinctively, rationally after understanding rationally, and then comes the robot who are programming. So in this sense, humans are uh, the humans have distinct qualities from these uh, other animals or let's robots and these things. So humans are very important in his idea of humanistic theory of learning. So then he emphasizes on subjectivity. For him, every human has different emotions. So to actually understand human emotions, we actually have to subjectively analyze humans. We actually have to leave behind objectivity. Like we can't be rigid in our understanding of human emotions. Like in Jain philosophy, where Sadvada was talked about, like there can be different aspects of the same reality. Same way, emotions can have different aspects. So we actually have to emphasize on the subjectivity, the meaningfulness of human emotions to actually understand the real potential or real emotions of the humans. This was his idea of humanistic theory of learning.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Perfect. So now let's move to another slide. Okay,
Ma'am,
so next,
uh,
yes, yes, yes.
ma'am, I have one doubt here. He's saying all this in perspective of understanding human behavior. This is important. These points are important to understand human behavior. That
Hmm.
is what he's saying, right, ma'am?
Exactly, exactly. That's what he's saying, Bache. You'll be learning how he rejects fruits also, right? And why did he reject behaviorist psychology also, right? We'll be learning that. Then only you'll be able to understand that it is right or wrong, right? Now, when we talk about this thinker, we have like division of like people, right? We have like debates that if he's right or not, because he criticized behaviorist psychology, right? So when I'll explain it to you, then you tell me that in which category he falls. Now let's move to another thing that he talks about, right? Now he basically is mentioning to us that Maslow rejected behaviorist views and Freud's theories on the basis of their reductionist approach. He felt that Freud's view of human nature was negative and he valued goodness, nobility, and reason. Okay, now when we talk about this, so he did not agree with behaviorism, right? And he did not agree with Freud's psychoanalysis, right? So what did he say? He felt that both the theories, right? He thought that they gave an incomplete and limited picture, right? He thought that they basically did not explain each and everything about humans, right? Somewhere Freud's theory also lagged with what actually humans are, right? So now there is one basically word here that is reductionist approach. Now, when we talk about this reductionist approach, what it is, reductionist approach means that explaining are basically complex human beings by explaining them by basically reducing them. All right, by reducing them, we are basically trying to explain it, right? So here it means that by reducing them one or two to simple factors, right? We are trying to explain human beings, right? Human beings are complex, right? But we are breaking those analysis and then we are trying to explain them, right? So what Maslow says, he says that behaviorists reduce humans to, stimulus machines, right? And what else he says? He says that truth basically reduces humans to unconscious instinct, like fear is there, sexual denials are there, right? So Maslow basically had this thinking that humans are actually more than what exactly Freud is explaining to us, right? So this is why he says that humans are more than what basically behaviorist explains to us and what exactly Freud explained to us, right? So this is why he rejected them. Now let's understand one by one why did he rejected behaviorist, right? Let's talk about this stuff. Why did he reject this? And then we'll basically focus on Freud. Okay. Now, when we talk about behaviorist, so he rejected it, right? What is behaviorism? Behaviorism, it is a study that only observes unobserved behavior, right? As I explained you, this focuses on what? It focuses on behavior only, right? Now, it basically ignores other feelings like values are also ignored here, meaning is also ignored here, right? As only it focuses on human behavior. So human learn only through reward and punishment, right? So this is why Maslow rejects this because humans think, they feel, they choose, right? So this is why he rejected behavior. Sorry. So what do you think about this concept of is rejecting behaviors? Do you also feel the same? What is your perspective? What is your viewpoint to this?
Ma'am,
Uh,
what is Freud's theory of view of human nature?
So
What
there are
is
two
what is
concepts. Okay, there are two concepts. First, we are talking about behaviorists, and then we'll move to Freud. First of all, tell me, as you understood that what behaviorists do, right? They basically
yes,
focuses
ma'am.
on behavior only, right? And they ignore rest of the feelings, right? So this is why he rejected this. So what do you think about this concept of this? Then we'll move to Freud. Tell me about it.
Well, I think there should be a balance. Totally rejecting the behavioristic approach is not right because through behaviors also human emotions can be understood. So for me, I think it is important to understand human emotions. It is all right, but as well as we need to also understand the behaviors or the characteristics of the humans also. So I think there should be a balance regarding how they both things can be used. I mean, we should find the middle path between these two ideas.
Okay. Anyone
Ma'am,
else?
ma'am, what I feel is most of the behaviors indirectly reveals what my values are, like, and what my feelings are, what my emotions are. Like
Hmm.
sometimes like the external part, the explicit part is the behavior, and the implicit part is my emotions, values, and feelings. So they are
Okay.
very interconnected. By rejecting something, you're not understanding the relations that exist between them. So yeah, one should consider both, and you should understand the relation and interconnecting part to give a better study, I guess. I feel, which I feel.
I
Okay.
support I support
Hmm.
Maslow's view, ma'am, because behaviorist views generally generalize people.
Hmm.
Sometimes, most of the times, they may be correct, but not all times, because every human being is different and their experiences are different. So their choices will always be different. So this generalization is not very fair to everyone. So I do not support behaviorist views.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Manoj?
ma'am, behaviorist view and Freud's analysis, these are not only reductionist, these are very much deterministic. I
Hmm.
mean, if we consider it from a viewpoint, from a debate between deterministic view and the view of free will, then Maslow somehow approves or advocates the idea of free will against the deterministic view of Freud and behaviorist, because they put much emphasis on externalities that influence the human behavior,
Hmm.
whereas Maslow gives much importance to the human experiences and freedom and choices to be
Hmm.
determinant of the behavior. So yes,
Okay.
of course, we can take both the views. I mean, the human experience as well as outside environment both impact human behavior. But since Freud and behaviorist put maximum emphasis on external factors, that is why Maslow's theory was against their theories. I mean, he put much emphasis on human agency and freedom and inner realization, ma'am.
Okay. So I hope that you understood what behaviorist theory is. Got it? Now let's move to Freud's theory. Okay. As I explained you before as well, Freud is a very, very important thinker, right? Because especially when it comes to human behavior, he played a huge role in psychology. Okay. So when we talk about his theory, so what exactly he believed? He said that human behavior is, it is because of sexual instinct, right? It is basically because of aggression, right? So he mentioned these things, right? And this is why he was rejected by other philosophers also. So what did he say? He says that human nature is often, it is irrational and it is, destructive, right? So he considered human emotions like these, right? Now, against this, Maslow, he believed that humans are basically good. Humans, wants to grow, right? And he says that humans, seek meaning and values, right? And these two philosophers, they basically viewpoints are contradicting. Totally, you can see, right? They are opposing each other, right? So this is why he contradicted Freud's viewpoints, right? Now, another part, Saptarishi understood what Freud was telling. Got it?
Ma'am, could you,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am, could you
Yes,
please
ma'am.
repeat? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure, sure. Got it. Okay. So what exactly Freud said? Freud basically was focusing on only two or three things. What he was focusing on? He was focusing on, sexual instinct, right? And he was only and only focusing on unconscious conflict, right? And he was focusing on aggression, right? So what he believed that humans are, they are irrational. They are destructive, right? And Maslow felt that this was a negative view of humans, right? Why? Because Maslow had the definition that of humans as good, right? Humans wants to grow, right? And he considered that humans have values, right? Whenever humans want to live, they have a meaning to it, right? If we remember in the previous slide, we tried to understand that how he said that basically inherent values are there, right? Inherent values of goods, moral values, right? Basically reasoning is there, logic is there, right? So as you can see yourself that how Freud's thought and how Maslow's thoughts are basically contradictory, right? As something Freud's thoughts are somewhere like going negative towards humans, right? But when it comes to Maslow, Maslow is thinking humans to be good, right? The difference is clear, right? So this is why he contradicted his viewpoints. Got it? Understood, Bachir?
Ye-
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let's move to another thing, another line. So he valued goodness, nobility, and reason, right? So in the previous slide, I explained it to you that how basically Maslow believed that there is a goodness. Goodness means what? It basically capacity to do good, right? And basically nobility is there, right? Nobility means what? Moral greatness is there, compassion is there, dignity is there, right? Can you mute yourself? Okay, next we have is nobility and reason. Okay, when we talk about reason, what we have in reason, we have ability to think logically and wisely, right? So these qualities are there, right? So he says that these are basically inherent values. They are in themselves naturally, right? Got it? So this is why he said these things are basically visible in healthy individuals also. Got it? Understood till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Now, next he talks about also Freud concentrated on mentally ill and Maslow was interested in healthy human psychology. Okay, the difference is between mentally ill and basically healthy human psychology. Okay, so difference between these two terms. Now, when we talk about these two things, so Freud was focusing on what? He studied mentally ill patients, right? And this is why his theory was totally based on trauma, psychological disorders, right? So to this, Maslow said that if you study only sick people, then you will get only a sick picture of humanity, right? You are basically studying something negative of the society. So you will get concept of like that only, right? Try to understand and try to analyze that part of the society, that part of the human values also, which holds good part as well. Then only you'll analyze that humanity is not something of filled with like negative pictures only, right? So this is what Maslow says, right? Now, when we talk about Maslow, he studied what? He basically studied healthy. He studied, successful, creative. He basically fulfilled, humanity. So exactly he wanted to know, what makes people happy and what makes help them grow, right? And how do humans reach their full potentials, right? So this becomes the foundation of humanistic, basically, psychology. Understood this difference between these two philosophers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, now let's imagine that there is like someone is like studying human body, right? And there is like studying only hospital patients, right? And they are ignoring healthy people, right? So there is a hospital where basically those people are studying only sick people, right? Only they are focusing on that, right? So other part, the other section where we should like try to understand that values are, what happiness is, right? How happiness basically works, right? How it impact the environment, right? How it is impacting themselves also, right? If this part is not analyzed, if this part is not understood, then we'll be able to complete that, we'll be able to understand humanity completely. No, right? So this was the concept that Maslow was coming out to us, right? Got it, Bachchan?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood the difference between healthy humans and mentally ill?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, do you want me to repeat anything?
No,
No.
ma'am, it's clear.
Okay. Okay, do you want to explain it very quickly? But
Yes, ma'am.
okay,
Yes, ma'am. So basic the
say it.
so I am just saying this. So what I feel like that Freud was a Austrian neurologist. So he was at the time of World War I, World War II. So sorry, World War I. So he has seen the uh, destruction of his country because Germany attacked Austria, which started World War I. So in a
Hmm.
sense, I think that when he believed at the time, so his ideas was very much influenced by that. So he saw the real destructive picture of human history.
Hmm.
So in a
Hmm.
sense, his idea was very much like that. So he concentrated on mentally ill. And whereas Maslow grew in America, where there was no war at the time. So in a sense, Maslow got a uh, field where there was healthy humans or creative field was there. So as a result, the difference between their ideology happened. I mean, the place where they worked was very much influential in their ideologies or theories.
Okay, next.
Or we can
Okay,
say,
before that, I want to ask you one thing. I have like this concept that came in, the question that I came with. So I want to ask you that: do you think that marks, salary, and social media, these followers can truly like show how happy a person is? Like if we are talking about happiness, if we are talking about understanding all these things with data, with reasoning, analysis, and everything. So with what Maslow and basically Freud is telling to us, the difference is understood, right? what these thinkers are basically focuses on, right? As it is said that Freud is
Yes.
focusing on mental health, right? And basically, we have another philosopher who is focusing on healthy humor, right? So, do you think that basically we can analyze these things in this way? Can two people with the same job and income feel very different inside? And if yes, then how and why? This concept should be like based on subjective experience. I hope that you understand what objective experience is, what is subjective experience. So, basis on that, please answer this question.
I was coming to that point, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
As Saptarshi told that they were operating in two different frameworks. Freud was operating under a destructive framework. That is why he saw the destructive sides of the humanity. Whereas as Maslow was operating in US, which is a very, progressive society or progressive and growth-ridden society. So that is why he saw the positive aspect of humanity. And in addition to that, I would like to tell, or maybe it is like that. Maybe Freud was more interested in negative things. That is why
Okay.
he saw negative things in that environment. Because there are people who also see positive things in negative environment, right? It is, I mean, if I apply Maslow's theory into Freud as a subject, not as a topic. Freud as an individual subject, he
Hmm.
was interested in negative things because he chose to be so. His his individual agency, his
Hmm.
choices, his free will matters a lot. He
Hmm.
chose to see negative things. That is why he saw that. I mean, there is a concept called scotoma in psychology. Your mind sees what it chooses to see. I
So
mean,
it's
if I
somewhere
see.
not only external factors, right? All these things, right? These shows us only external factor, as Maslow said it, right? This is not covering the whole reality of humans, right? Is this what you are trying to say?
No, I was just adding another factor to what Satyarshi said.
I got that, got that, got
Yeah.
that. Hmm. So this is that's very true. So the question that I asked, right? That's very true. No, basically no mark, no salary, any social media followers. They cannot truly show that how a person is basically right. This is basically telling us what only external factors,
No.
only external success, right? Agree, Saptarishi?
Yes,
You want
ma'am.
to say something, Bacha?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I agree with that. I mean, the social media followers and all that, whatever is shown in the social media doesn't actually show how a person emotionally is. I mean, so in social media, someone may be so much successful, but in reality, he might be going through some emotional breakdown or depression. It can happen. It happens all the time. So, in a sense, whatever we see in social media just shows the external view of a human. It doesn't actually show the inner self. That
Hmm.
what Maslow was actually saying, that we actually have to understand the goodness, nobility inside of humans. But a social media can't actually show all that. It is very much inside of a human, and it can't be shown through social media.
Hmm.
And it is not. It is remains hidden in that case.
Okay, perfect. Very good. So let's move to another slide. Anything and any else? Do you want to add something, Srinidhi? Raju, do you want to add something to this, to the question that I asked? Would you like to say something to this, Srinidhi?
Ma'am, I have a doubt here. Uh,
Check.
it is mentioned that Freud's view of human nature is negative in this slide. So
Hmm.
there is a thing called original sin. That is, some philosophers, some thinkers believe that humans are inherently somewhat evil. So
Hmm.
did Freud also think so or not? I don't know. I'm asking.
Okay, so you saying that he mentioned about that human nature is negative.
Yes, here it is mentioned that Freud's view of human nature was negative, and I also know that some people believe that original sin, that is, humans are inherently evil. At birth, only humans are somewhat evil. This type of thought is there with some thinkers. Does Freud also believe this view? That's what I'm asking.
Okay, that other thinkers sometimes believes that they are like basically negative or basically they are like uh, will. Is this your question? So, if
Yes,
we like understand it that way, then Freud basically did not say something completely false, right? So basically, that human nature is negative. So many thinkers do believe that humans can be evil, right? They can be basically many thinkers said that they are basically selfish and they are basically destructive, right? They said that basically many humans are evil as well, right? So fluid view is like one side of human reality, right? When we talk about fluid, what did he say? That humans are driven by what? Unconscious instinct, right? Sexual desire is there, aggression is there, desire for power is there, right? And thinkers who basically they believed about selfish, violent, but he did not clearly say that basically humans are evil or basically humans are destructive, right? He only mentioned these three things only. In that way only he defined them, right? So he did not say that they are evil or they are basically negative. Got it? But he believed that human life is full of suffering. He's sorry, human life is like full of desires, sexual desires, aggressions, desire for power, right? But he didn't mention about evilness here. Got it, bache?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Shall
Ma'am,
we move to
I want to add one thing to her question, that
mm-hmm.
it can be related to the theory of human nature as given by Thomas Hobbes. Hobbes was a product of English Civil War. And there was a crisis of leadership in England. So that is why his theories were like that, that human beings are inherently nasty, brutish, and short. And this is Hobbesian ideas were very much influenced by the ideas of Christianity. I mean, the human nature as per Christianity. I mean, Christianity shows a very dark picture of human beings. That human beings are fool, they are idiots, they are brutish, they are self-interested, self-centered. That is why they need a God who will emancipate them. So that is why in sometimes the prayer is more that the prayer is not about praising the God. It is more about seeking forgiveness. That we
Hmm.
committed a mistake. For my mistake, you were crucified. That is why please forgive me now. So that part of Christianity had very much influenced Hobbesian ideas. But when Jean-Jacques Rousseau, when he termed human nature to be very good, when he showed a positive side of human nature, then he
Hmm.
has to face the brunt of the church. I mean,
Hmm.
it is not only Rousseau, but Bruno, Galileo, then even Sir Isaac Newton, all it was like by painting human nature in a positive way, they were challenging the authority of this Christian church.
Exactly. So this is an amazing analysis that you came with, especially when it comes to Hobbes. As Hobbes also had this believing that basically controlling is basically very important for humans, right? This is what the thinking that Hobbes also had, right? So what did he say? He says that human naturally desires power, basically desires self-preservations and basically pleasure. So what did exactly Hobbes explain? That this desire is basically going to lead us towards what? Conflict, violence, right? And this chaotic society, right? So somewhere his beliefs are matching with Freud's, right? If you remember, I explained it to you that what exactly Hobbes' theory is, right? So he says that basically humans are basically in always this analysis that we want power, we want control, right? And this desire always and always leads to chaotic society, right? And this actually goes with the desire explanation of fluids, right? He explains also about sexual instincts, about aggressive instincts, right? So this similarity could be seen between these two philosophers. Anything else that you want to add, Saptarishi?
Yes, ma'am. Just the fact that what I see right now in modern time, if we
Hmm.
see around the globe, the conflicts and all that, if we actually analyze them, one might think that Freud was right in his assessment, in a sense, at of the time. If we actually externally to see the picture of world, but in reality, there might be the emotions working. But if we just look out, I mean, through a third person lens or outside of the world, if we see the whole picture, we might think that Freud was right in his assessment, because we can see everywhere the conflicts are going on. Everyone is attacking other countries. Sovereignty is being destroyed.
I'm
Every other nation is just.
you in between. I'm sorry to cut you in between. Rest of the students who are not speaking, please mute yourself. And whenever you get the chance to speak, only then you have to unmute. Got it, Vijay?
Yes, ma'am.
Student- Yes, please mute yourself. Yes, Saptarishi.
Yes, ma'am. So that was my saying, that if we right now see uh, the world through the third person lens, we might think that Creed was right in his assessment, because ultimately we are seeing a conflict going on everywhere. US attacking Venezuela, then the Ukraine-Russia war is going on, then Iran and USA bombing happened, then China's claim on Taiwan that is going on right now. So everywhere there are conflicts and wars. So
Hmm.
in that sense, one might think that Freud was right when he said that humans are in their inherent nature is actually destructive and aggressive.
Okay, perfect. And that's very true, Saptarishi, looking at the scenarios that we are going through, right? The chaos that this world is coming up with, right? This is something to be worried about, right? This is a very concerning viewpoint that you have mentioned, right? Looking at the scenarios, and that's true. Okay, now let's move to another side. So this says that Maslow and his colleagues came to refer to the movement as third force psychology, right? Another important part, third force psychology, right? So we are going to read about psychoanalysis, behaviorism, we have understood what it is, humanism and existentialism. So Maslow is famous for proposing that humans' motivation is based on that hierarchy of needs, right? Okay. Any idea what basically third force psychology is? As we have understood that what exactly his psychology, what his philosophy, what his ideology is, that we have understood. What do you think? Why his friend referred him as his theory as this movement as third force psychology? What this means according to you? What exactly this is explaining to us?
I think there might be three stages of understanding humans. So that's why it was said third force psychology, because there might be they can understand behavior, they can understand the mental state, emotional state, uh, these things. So I think there might be three stages of understanding human emotions.
Anyone else? Anything? You ever heard about this term, third force psychology? This is a very famous term. Anyone in psychology you might have heard, in socio you have read. No?
I have not heard the term before.
Okay. So when we talk about this, so in psychology, basically, as we have understood that different thinkers, right? They try to understand that why humans behaves the way they do, right? So we understood behaviorist theory also. We understood what Maslow is trying to say. We understood that what Freud is trying to say, right? So all these concepts are basically understood to us, right? So first way is basically what? First way is first force, right? Second way, second way of understanding what it might be. Second force. I'll explain you one by one what it exactly is. Third way is Maslow force. Okay, so when we talk about this, it is called third force psychology because to understand the way we behave, right? So first way is first psychology, right? Second way is second psychology, and the third way is Maslow force, right? So this is why it is called third force psychology, right? So when we talk about first force, so this is basically psychoanalysis, right? We are trying to understand that what took part, right? So this is what psychoanalysis, right? So this is the first part we have, first force we have, right? So now what Freud believed, right? So human behavior comes from unconscious mind, right? Humans are controlled by three things. What are the three things that I mentioned? First is quickly. First is I explained you those three things that basically he's coming up with. Humans are controlled with first thing, second thing, and third thing. What are those three things? Sexual desires, aggressions, and fear. I explained
Yes,
you this 3 and 4 times. What are these?
uh, these are
Sexual
the
desire, aggression,
sexual
fear.
desires.
Hmm.
Yes.
And also there is one more thing that Freud believed, that childhood problems affect adult life, right? So this is exactly how Freud saw humans. That humans are often troubled, right? Humans have dark and harmful instincts, right? And society controls humans through rules and punishment, right? So, for example, a person becomes angry easily, and to this, Freud will explain to us that this anger comes from hidden childhood trauma or basically suppressed desires, right? And this is why in psychology it is considered very important that if you are understanding anyone or if you are going through anyone's ideology, make sure that you are understanding their background history, make sure that you are going through their childhood trauma also, right? When we talk about Descartes, right, when I explained it to you in the first class only, I told you that if you are
Yes.
trying to understand his ideology, go through his history, right? He did his master's twice, right? He completed his schooling twice, right? And then his ideology was what? He kept on doubting each and everything, right? So somewhere his ideology was related to what? To his basically background, to his childhood trauma, right? He was in basically in habit of basically doubting each and everything, right? So you can see the pattern which came from childhood to adulthood, right? So this is how basically psychoanalysis, the first force is understood, right? Which is basically what psychoanalysis. Got it? What psychoanalysis is understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, now let's understand what is basically second thing is okay. Then we have is behaviorism. Okay. Then when we talk about behaviorism, this was given to us by B.F. Skinner. So I have explained to you what behaviorism is when we are trying to understand behavior only, right? And this was criticized on the basis of it that we are basically not focusing on other feelings, right? So behaviorists believe that
Yes.
study only what we can see, ignore other thoughts and feelings, right? So humans learn thought through what? Through rewards and through punishments, right? So this is the concept that basically behaviorist comes and basically tries to understand about humans. Now, when we talk about humans, how exactly they understand, how behaviorists understand humans. So he say humans as machines, right? And they say that behavior is something that can be controlled by environment. So somewhere they are linking humans' behavior with what? External factor.
Yes.
So this is why it was criticized by Maslow, because he sees that they are seeing humans as machines, as they are basically ignoring others' feelings. Got it? Understood till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, when we talk about this, now Maslow was not satisfied with first and second, right? As first was focusing on what? The first basically was focusing on what was the first force was focusing?
That was focusing on understanding the background of the uh, subject, whoever we
Exactly.
are
The first
analyzing.
was psychoanalysis. Exactly. The first was psychoanalysis, right? And the second was behaviorism, right? So this is why he criticized both of these forces, right? And he focused on the third thing, right? The third psychoanalysis, right? Now, this is why he was basically not basically accepting first force and second force, because he talks only about mentally ill people, right? And behaviorism treats humans like robots, right? And both are basically ignoring feelings, they are basically ignoring other factors also, they are ignoring other values also, right? Which are very very crucial for Maslow, right? So he criticized first force also, second force also, right? And he went with the third force that was given by him, right? Why did he criticize first force? He criticized first force because it was very mechanical according to him, right? He criticized behaviorism because they were not focusing on other feelings, right? Other feelings were ignored in it, right? So this is why he came with the third force, and this is why this movement was very much known as third force psychology. Got it, bache?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
now let's understand his third force, right? Very, very deeply. So Maslow approach, he believed that humans are what? Basically good, right? Humans have freedom to choose, right? Humans like want love, they want respect, and they want meaning. So humans want to become the best version of themselves, right? So this is why he, studied healthy people. He studied creative people. He tried to study value, right? The part of humans which basically shows the good part of humanity, right? Good part of humans. Got it, bache?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, for example, let's understand what exactly Maslow's viewpoint is. Let's understand this with example. So, a teacher teaches not only for salary, but that teacher is teaching because she loves teaching, right? And she feel meaningful, right? Or maybe she wants to help students clear UPSC examination, right? So, this feeling is showing what? Compassionate, right? This teacher wants to do something more than what exactly she can do, right? She wants to basically fulfill her duty. So this is showing what? This is showing the goodness, right? So this falls in the category of third force, right? of basically Maslow. Got it? The movement which was basically known as third force psychology. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything that you want me to explain from this, then I'll explain you another thing of this.
Ma'am, I didn't understand hierarchy of needs means
What, bache?
hierarchy of needs means you
That I
didn't.
explain you. I'm not done yet. Till here, is there anything that you want me to explain? This
What is
part is
existentialism? Why is the term used, ma'am?
okay. So first of all, let's understand. First of all, let's understand the hierarchy. Then we'll move to extensionalism. Okay. So when we talk about this hierarchy, because this is related to that, then I'll explain it to you. So what did Maslow say? He says that human behavior is, guided by needs, right? And these needs are basically like ladder. Why did he call this ladder? Because our needs are basically never fulfilled, right? If we are basically, in need of something, then we'll want something other else also, right? These needs are never fulfilled, right, when it comes to humans, right? So when we talk about this, we have physical needs also, we have safety needs also, we have love and belonging also, esteem needs also, right? We need all these things, right? So this is why he says that there are hierarchy of needs, right? And this is how human motivation is basically here, right? Got it? Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, next basically talks about humanism and existentialism, right? Now, existentialism is basically saying that human life has no fixed meaning that is given from outside, right? Each person must create their own meaning. As his philosophy, his ideology speaks, what it says that humans are born with their identity, right? They have their own values, they have their own goodness, right? So, what is basically ignored here? The external factor is ignored here. What is Srinidhi Bache? What is existentialism here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, rest of the students, everything clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
So I hope this is understood that what is third force psychology, right? What is first force, second
Yes,
force, and third force, right? Why did he accept third force and criticize first and second force, right? What did he say about hierarchy of needs, right? What exactly extensionism is? Each and every point I understood. Do you want me to repeat anything again? Give you another
no.
example. Okay, so with this, we'll end today's class and we'll complete rest of the question in the next.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
ma'am.
Out here,
So,
Ma'am, I
in
have a
hierarchy of
general
needs,
doubt.
is it
one by one, yes, please.
is hierarchy of needs same for every human being according to him, or is it different?
The needs can vary, बच्चे ठीक है the portion the percentage it can vary but what he's saying that every person on this planet have hierarchy of needs. The percentage can vary but there is always hierarchy present in every human being.
Yes, ma'am.
Got
That's it. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, in philosophy optional paper, like we have Indian philosophy, Western philosophy, philosophy of religion, and socio-political philosophy. To which
it?
part we are dealing right now? I'm having little confusion. Like where
Okay,
did we
so
start and how we are?
this is socio-political. Okay, social political philosophy we are reading, right? And
Okay,
this is
ma'am.
a humanism topic. Yes, got it,
Okay,
बच्चे?
okay. I mean, then next, how we are going, ma'am? How we are going? Like next, what will be started? Like how will course is going on?
Okay, so this is the like first topic of political, right? The humanism, right? Then we have another topics, and this is a cyclic batch. Don't worry about that. I'll finish rest of the portion of yours. You don't worry
Sure,
about
ma'am.
that.
Sure,
The only thing I want from you is Raju, please come to the class regularly. Do not miss any class because
sure.
if you are missing any concept, then I won't be able to. The discussion is very important in the classroom, right? The concept could be cleared, but then it's the discussion that is the main part here, right?
Sure, ma'am.
Got it, but okay. So with this, we'll end
Ma'am,
today's class and I'll see you on Monday. हाँ
yes,
बच्चे.
ma'am. After a socio-political, Indian or Western philosophy will start, ma'am. Which one will start?
We'll start with religion. After political, we'll start with religion, then Western, and then Indian.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, बच्चे. So the word limit is not only the task, right? We have timing also, right? And then we have question also, right? Then we have examples also, right? Then we have to basically relevance. And when I talk about relevance, the connectivity of paper. As I explained it to you, Raju, I'll be delivering you all the thinkers, right? like more than what UPSC is asking you, because there will be thinkers in social also, polity also, governance also, right? Which will be covering eventually, right? So I'll try to cover more thinkers than basically UPSC philosophy option is asking for, right? For this reason. But the thing is word limit where we have to write answer in 150 or 250, right? So when we write answer in like 500 or 600 words, we are like more in speed. In one or two pages only, we like try to make sense to the answer, right? Somewhere in between, we write actual answer, right? So this is the task that you have to do, right? So what we can do, like we can put the papers after completing each and every unit, right? We can basically put the test, right? With that, you can have the analysis that how much time you are taking in completing one paper, right? How much time, how you are basically connecting Indian philosophy and Western philosophy, right? How you are presenting the word limits also, right? So with practice only it will happen, right? So take time, analyze each and every philosopher, right? Try to like come with the questions, right? And whatever basically test I'm giving you, assignments I'm giving it to you, make sure that you're completing on time.